Well, hello everybody. It's Donica from You Do You Unfiltered, and I had this wonderful guest today that I've met a couple times through us like courses that we've done with LinkedIn, actually. And we've spoken a couple times on our own. I'm gonna take my glasses off. I don't need that. I'm excited to introduce you to Randy McCord. He has a crazy story that I would do his introduction, but it's quite long. But this guy has hidden talents. You have hidden talents that I did not know about. And I want to hear how those hidden talents, this is what my spin would be on your hidden talents. Your hidden talents, which you're going to tell everybody, is how it goes into your work and what you do. So that's kind of cool because you are a performer. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Well, I
Kind
like to think so.
Yes, yes. Because what you do now is what I get is that you're in the money business. True?
Yeah, you could say that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I help people with financial
Yeah.
products and services for sure.
So tell us about your hidden talent and how you got there with that hidden talent. And what are you doing with that hidden talent that helps you with work? Because that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how it works out. Go ahead.
Well, I
And
think
it's
by
not
way,
stripping. We're not stripping. No, just kidding.
yeah, by way of introduction, I'm the founder of as you know, a life insurance brokerage headquartered here in Calgary called National Best Financial Network, and I formed it with three other advisors back in 2010.
Okay.
And we just thought we had a certain business model and a way of treating clients, and we thought, well, if we could build our own little business, that would be great. We've got about 40 licensed agents across Canada, so we're a little boutique brokerage.
Okay.
We kind of like what we do and how we work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I got into this industry because somebody chased me down about 15 years ago and said, "Ooh, you'd be a really good financial advisor."
Right.
And at the time, I was in the international transportation business. So I'd been 25 years moving freight all over the world, you know. If you wanted to move a container of running shoes from China to Edmonton, I was your guy, right?
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
I'm based in Calgary, but I mean, we could move stuff from anywhere to anywhere.
Yes.
I was the customs broker for one of the largest oil sands projects way back in the day. So we did lots of very interesting work from a transportation basis.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody tracked me down and said, "Wow, you have all these other skill sets, those hidden skill sets that you're
Yeah.
talking about."
Yes, the hidden ones.
The hidden ones, because all the time that I was doing my regular job in sales with the international freight forwarder,
Yeah.
I was I was dealing in real estate as a side hustle.
Oh, okay.
So for all those years, I always had rental properties. Well, first of all, I started out with my own house, right? I
Yeah.
would buy a house, and I was sort of mentored by a high school teacher. And I'll get into that in a second, but I would buy an older house and then I would repair it using my own sweat equity,
Yeah.
and that would give me, some profit. And
Right.
at some point, I would sell that house, excuse me,
That's
and then
okay.
I would move on to the next house.
Right.
Well, that skill set was taught to me again by this high school teacher who took me in when I was quite young. I left home at 16
Okay.
because my dad had died when I was 12 and I was living in a two-bedroom apartment with my mother and two younger sisters. So any excuse to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
And this high school teacher also had real estate side hustles. So he would have students come down, and I think back then we'd work for $1 an hour, and he'd give us a coffee break every hour or something, when we were 14, 15 years
Yeah.
old.
That's a
But
lot of
over,
money though back then for us. Like,
yeah, yeah. So,
think.
back then, he was teaching us how to do all these various skills, how to paint, how to do carpentry, how to do plumbing, electrical. So by the time I left university, I had a sort of a full skill set when it came to doing renovations and understanding real estate transactions and mortgages. So that's, by the time by 22 years old, I'd already owned two houses, and sort of had that built-in skill set. Of course, then, like any young man, I decided that I should venture out on my own and leave the nest. And I ended up playing music for a living for 8 years, just doing a lounge act, just me and my guitars and my drum machine.
Yeah.
And so 8 years on the road.
Here.
So So
Wow.
yeah, so then I got the partying out of my system and met my wife and settled back down. And that's when I got back into real estate.
Yeah.
And when I was looking, it was time to get a real job.
Right.
And that's when I bumped into transportation.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. You just bumped into them?
Yeah, I had no intention of being in transportation, but a buddy had set up a messenger company, that does in-city
Yeah.
deliveries.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said they needed a sales guy, and I said, I don't know anything about sales. And they said, well, take this rate sheet and go downtown, go up and down all the office buildings and say, hey, I'm with Sprintex Courier, and here's a rate sheet. You want to work with us?
Yeah.
And I went, really? Okay. And so that's what I did. And I did that for about 6, 8 months. And I was still playing music on the side, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I caught the eye of an international courier company because the messenger company did pickups for this international courier company.
Right.
And they were looking for a salesman. And I eventually got that job. And before long, ended up with the international company that I was with for 20 years. So I stumbled into that career. I wasn't looking for a job when I got
Yeah.
the job.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's how I ended up in international transportation. And I taught courses in logistics at Mount Royal and our
Right.
CIFA courses at the University of Calgary. So teaching kind of replaced the performance end of my sort of that need to perform, which is the musician
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of the creative process. I transferred that to teaching.
Oh, okay.
So I taught courses, as I say, in logistics and in international transport and export trade for a number of years. And today I still teach. I teach a course in real estate investing at the Calgary Board of Education. So yeah, so you start to add up all of these funny little things that I've done all my life.
Huh.
And when this colleague of mine tracked me down and forced me to, check out the financial services industry,
Yeah.
she in a way was right. I had all of this background in investing, not just real estate. I was a crazy investor. I invested in stocks and bonds and
Yeah.
was trading options back in the 90s during the tech boom.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so I have all these experiences that sort of they were never central to my sort of vocation. They were always just side hustles or things I was doing on the side to try and make money.
Yeah.
And it just translated into a fair amount of experience. So yeah. So today what I tell clients is when you get me,
Yeah.
you get 40 years of investment experience from somebody who did it right, on the
Scratch.
battlefield, in the trenches, in the
Yeah.
foxhole,
Yes.
right? Because my experience isn't book learning, right? When I tell people that I lost 100 grand in one day,
Yeah.
I tell them that story and I explain,
Yeah.
this is what happened and this is how you can avoid doing that.
Yes, absolutely. It
Yeah,
comes
for
from
sure.
lessons, actually, to be honest with you, lessons that you have learned over the years of what you've done. But let's get back to the music because I'm curious about the music a little bit. So you played guitar, only you on a stage. Any bands?
No, I was always an introvert. So when my sister asked for a guitar for Christmas when she was a kid, it just sat in the closet. She never played it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, my dad died. So my mom went out with a musician one time, and I
Okay.
pulled the guitar out of the closet and said, "Hey, can you show me how to play this thing?"
And you picked it up like that.
Yeah, well, he just showed me three chords, right? Three
Right.
common chords that are used for many songs. I
Right.
immediately learned "Me and Bobby McGee"
Of course.
and just went from there, right?
Yeah.
And so I would practice for hours and hours on end by myself in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Um,
Front of the mirror.
yeah, and
Interesting.
just practice, just practice. I learned the chords and I go buy these music books at the music store
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they got me. I think my mom she went out with a fellow for a while who got me some lessons. I took about 6 months worth of lessons, but I didn't find them. The fellow wasn't a guitar player. He actually taught like his primary instrument was the accordion.
Excuse me.
But he was a music teacher. So,
Okay. Okay. And
so
you do accordion now, do you?
yeah, so I said, I don't
Yeah.
don't keep sending me there
Yeah.
because it's not
Yeah.
working
I
out.
have, yeah.
And so I just began teaching myself and meeting other
Hmm.
people and learning how to play. And then I ended up in a church choir for about 7 years.
All right. Oh,
Um, because when I was young, I had a high voice.
yeah.
I know it doesn't sound like it now. Back then, I could sing pretty high,
Yeah.
and they needed tenors. So
Yeah.
this was a United Church in downtown Calgary, a very well-known big church. Had a great choir master. He was the head of music for the Calgary Board of Education
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Calgary, and the organist was one of the best organists in the city. So it was great.
Yes.
And what it taught me to do was to sight read, and
Okay.
so I was able to read music after those 7 years,
Yeah.
and so I've got it was a very eclectic music education.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the funny thing is, because I asked you something quirky about you, you're actually an introvert.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
super
that
duper.
just blows my mind because you
Yeah.
can't get on stage and in front of people to do what you do, and now do what you do with the financial part of it too as well. And I think that is so crazy. So how did you get out? Are you still an introvert, or have you escaped?
Oh
Not
yeah.
a bad thing.
I don't think you change your basic nature.
Okay.
When I got into sales, I
Yeah.
had to learn how to go and meet people
Ah,
and how to present. I was educated. I've got a university degree, so it's not like I didn't have enough education to be able to learn stuff.
yeah,
But it
absolutely.
was a lot to overcome because I'm not naturally gregarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good if you're my best friend.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a room of 6 or 7 people, I'm like, it used to be I would be lost.
You're right.
Certainly, networking for business was a real chore,
Yeah.
and that's one of the reasons today I teach a workshop on how to be a master networker because I had to learn how to do it
Yes.
because it was not a natural tendency. And so I slowly but surely learned how to get along, how to meet new people, how to be comfortable with that, how to
Yeah.
be in a room full of people and socialize with them. But it was all learned behavior.
Yeah.
And after a day of networking, and there are some days where I do 3 networking events in a day, Adonica,
Yeah.
and I am exhausted at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Like it's an energy suck.
Yeah.
I have to go into my man cave and turn the TV on and just kind of like veg out, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But here's the kicker. If I am performing in front of people,
Yeah.
I can be talking in a room in front of 100 people, or I can be playing my guitar in a room full of 50 people,
Yeah.
or I can be teaching a class with 25 students. Then I'm in my element.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'm having fun. Then I'm getting
Yeah.
energy out of it. It's like performance art, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so people wonder, well, how come you're so comfortable in front of people talking? I said, because I don't have to socialize with them. I'm entertaining them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a different dynamic, strangely enough.
Absolutely. Because I think for myself too, as well, everyone says, no, you're an extrovert. But networking for me, I'm introverted because I don't want to pick up that phone. I don't want to, because I'm like you, I like to perform. I like to do what I'm doing by myself in front of people, but throw me in a group, then I'm like, oh, okay. That's like, oh, I save myself from them actually. I just smile.
Right.
Smile and nod actually is what I do. But yeah, I understand that there's a lot of people out there, but I read a book that the best networking people are introverts, not extroverts.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a famous fellow in our industry named Ben Feldman.
Yeah.
And Ben, if you he by far sold the most life insurance in North America.
Oh, really?
Not even close. He doesn't even have a close. He's like the Wayne Gretzky of life insurance, right? And you go look at pictures of him,
Yeah.
and he's a short, squat little fellow, not particularly good looking, and he had a bit of a speech impediment,
Oh,
but it didn't matter
he just did.
because he was just a machine when it came to
Yeah.
going about the business of calling on business owners and you know getting in front of them and showing them the advantages of life insurance products for their family and their company.
Yeah.
And literally, he sold over $1 billion worth of life insurance
Wow.
in his lifetime. And he just worked in a small little sort of Belt area in, in the
Yeah,
United States. But, he's a great example of how, you don't have to be a born salesperson or a born networker.
yep, yep.
You just have to go about your business in a methodical way, and just keep learning and keep growing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're married, you have children?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been married. We just had our wedding anniversary on the 8th of this,
How
so a
many
couple of
years?
days ago. 37 years. But
Congratulations.
we lived in sin for 3 years before that, so it's actually 40 years
Okay.
that we've been living together.
Well,
So
happy anniversary.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have, I know we've spoken before, but you do have a son, is it in
No,
Australia?
no, I have two daughters.
Right? Yep.
Daughters, one that lives here in Calgary
Okay.
and one that lives in Brisbane, Australia, because she
Right.
married an Australian fellow.
Nice.
And unfortunately, she's the one having all the grandkids.
Uh,
So we have twin granddaughters, and we just have a freshly born grandson back in April. And so we're off to Brisbane every year to, of
yeah,
course, visit the grandkids. So it's a bit of
yeah,
a trek.
yeah. But it's
But
nice to have FaceTime.
oh yeah,
Oh
once
yeah.
a week we get. Oh, in fact, it's really hilarious. The twins know us now, so they
Yeah.
even call us by name when we get on FaceTime, right?
What
It's
do they call you?
fantastic.
Do they say grandma, grandpa? Do they have a special name for you?
I'm Grandpa Randy,
Okay.
right? Because there's a grandpa in Australia.
It's the same
But
name.
then grandma is my wife because gran is the grandmother,
Okay.
that's what they
Yeah.
call grandmothers in Australia is gran.
Oh, that
In
sounds fun.
Australia, they shorten everything to the shortest possible human word, right?
Right.
Like right?
Oh,
Have you ever come
yeah,
to
I
us?
like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I
Yeah,
was
so Phoebe is one of the twin granddaughters, so it's Phoebes, right?
just, okay.
And Aggie is the other twin granddaughter. So you would think Aggie?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Ags.
Excuse me, what?
It's Ags.
You got to grow up with that.
Oh yeah, well that's for you. They just shorten everything to the, you know, shortest possible
Yeah.
word that they can get out of it.
Well, I wonder what my name would be. Adonica.
Ad.
Probably. My
Hey
mother,
ad.
my
Hey.
mother
Or ads. They
said,
call you ads.
yeah,
Hey ads.
absolutely. Ads.
What's going on?
That'd be funny. So my mother, when they named me, they said there'd be no shortening of that name, none. And I've never gotten a shortening. So if I go to Australia, I'm in trouble then.
Oh,
So,
they'll shorten it for you,
yeah,
believe me.
just like that, eh? So I'm going to ask you a quick question. If you could give any advice or any great something you could tell people that are just starting out in the networking business, something that they can take home and resonate with and say, that's going to help me get the next client or the next customer, what would it be?
Oh, there are a couple of things. I
Yeah,
think,
love it.
first of all, I'm going to give you the three questions
Okay.
that you can ask some business owner like you
Yeah.
first met
Yeah.
that will guarantee you a coffee meeting next week, right?
Okay.
I'll do that. But the first thing I think that people going to business networking events need to understand is that you have to go in with in order to avoid any kind of nervousness
Yeah.
or anxiousness about it, simply go in by understanding that you're there to collect other people's business cards,
Yes.
right? You're not there to pass out your business card. In fact, I
Yeah.
tell rookies at
Yeah.
the networking game
Hmm.
to leave their business cards at home. Don't
Okay.
take them.
Okay.
Don't take them because what you're there to do is find out what others are doing
Yeah.
and to find out what they're looking for or who they're looking
Yeah,
for.
absolutely.
And then think about your own network or the people that you know,
Mhm.
see if there's some connection you can make to help them out.
Right.
And if you go there with the concept of keeping them in mind,
Yeah.
the first thing that pops into your head is, how can I help that person?
Yeah.
Then all of your concern and anxiety just, because it's not about you anymore. It's not about your business. It's
Yeah.
not about what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
It's about them, because the way that we grow our business and our networks is by helping others,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
So the more that you provide assistance to others, it's that kind of karma is going to come back to you,
Mhm.
and you're going to get referrals and you're going to get connections that are relevant to your business. It's a funny way that it works. You know, it doesn't seem like that's, but in fact, that's the way that it works. It's not
Mhm.
instantaneous. So
Right.
what I
Yeah.
would what I would say is just remember there to help. They're there to collect their business card, not hand your business card out,
Right.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of
And
sense. A lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because the first
yeah, and
question,
it's not always easy because,
no, yeah.
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
But that's a great way to know that you have to make that connection because you have that business card in front of you. That way they can't connect with you. You're making the first initial step. And that makes it easier on you, actually, to be honest with you, because you've already got their business card instead of just cold calling. You know what I mean? I find that such a
Well,
great,
yeah, that's the reason we network. The reason we
yeah,
network is because we don't like cold calling,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, I get that. I'm actually gonna do that from now on when I go to networking businesses. I'll take my card. And I think they'll ask more questions
Yeah, yeah,
about you as well. So they'll have that in their brain when you call. Oh, that was Adonica, that red light therapy, or that's Adonica. I want to talk to her. And
yeah.
then
It's a more fun thing to do.
it's more fun.
Um,
Yes.
and then as you learn more about their business, you'll quickly discover what they're interested in, and then
Yeah,
either you can help them or you might know someone who can help them. And
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
that kind of a connection that people value.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know,
Absolutely.
I'm
And
just
then
trying to sell you my healthy green juice. That's just going to chase you away.
yeah, exactly. And then the other thing too is I hate carrying my cards because I feel so like, here, do you want a card? It's kind of, so I rather take them. So I take them
Yeah,
instead.
you know the rule, right? You know the rule?
How was the
The
rule?
rule, the only time you hand out your card, you know the only time you hand out your card?
When?
When someone asks for it.
Perfect.
That's the only time.
So, okay, then if you're at a networking and you don't bring your cards and someone asks for it, what do you say?
You go, "Oh, I forgot my cards at home. By any chance, do you have a card? And I'll send you an email with all my contact info."
Gotcha. I like it. I like it because I think it just makes
Or
it.
nowadays,
Oh yeah.
or nowadays it's here, let's connect on LinkedIn, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Yeah. Which is gone.
Scan my code.
Yeah. And it's gone crazy, to be honest with you, because I miss being a 60 baby. I just had a birthday, by the way. Being a 60 baby, I miss that connection because it's so easy just to, oh, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only, like, it's so impersonal. It's become,
Yeah, to some extent, but
yeah,
if you've met in person first,
yes,
then
absolutely. Yeah,
it's much less impersonal,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing. Okay, so that's one. So don't bring your cards to a meeting. What's another one? I want secret. I want secret. Just give me one more.
Well, do you want the three questions?
I do want the three questions. That's what I want. Three questions.
Okay, so if you meet somebody new and it
Okay.
seems like there's a good chance for you to do some business together
Yeah.
because they've told you what they do,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Then I use these three questions to get a meeting the next week. And the
Okay.
first question is, are you looking for new clients at this time,
Okay.
right? And if they're at a networking event, chances are pretty good they are.
Yep.
You know, they're probably looking for some new business. So are you looking for new clients at this time?
Yep.
And they go, yes, I am. And then I say, well, tell me a little more about your business. What makes you unique? What sets you apart from your competition?
Okay.
Now, that question is meant to allow them to tell their story.
Okay. Right.
And so, because you've opened the door for them to tell their story, you
Mhm.
have to let them tell their story.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
your job is to shut up and listen, right?
Absolutely. Mhm.
So you listen to why they're unique, why their business is different, why they provide a better service, because everyone will have a story about why they're a better
Whatever.
mousetrap or
Yeah.
whatever it is. And
Yeah.
then you listen carefully because in that conversation, they're going to start telling you things that are important, whether it's a challenge, whether it's a success, whether it's a particular client, it doesn't matter what it is. Listen carefully for those key words
Yeah.
because that's going to trigger in your brain
Mhm.
Okay, I'm starting to visualize what this person, what their business is,
Yeah.
who they're looking for, what their unique value proposition is. And as you digest that, it's going to allow you to communicate much better with them.
Right.
When they finally finish telling their story, then the last question you would ask them is, "Oh, that's very interesting. So if I bumped into your ideal client on the street, what would they look like?"
Yeah. Hmm.
And then they'll tell you who they're really looking for.
Right.
Sometimes they don't know who their ideal client is. They haven't really worked that through. And then
Yeah.
you'll see the gears just working in their head. Oh, my ideal client. Oh, yeah, I think I can. Yeah, it's this
Been in
person.
the headlights.
Or sometimes they know exactly who their ideal
Yeah,
client is.
absolutely.
They can
Yeah.
outline
Yeah.
that for you.
Yeah.
And then what you say to them is, you know what? I think I know someone who could benefit from your special expertise. How about if we meet next week for a coffee? I just want to learn more about your business to make sure I send you the right person.
Perfect.
Now, you're going to get a meeting every single time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my students in my workshop, you say, "Oh, sure, Randy. Yeah, like that'll work, right?" And I said, "Okay, guys," because there used to be a networking event the night after my
Yeah.
workshop.
Yeah.
This was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And so I'd say, "Okay, meet me at,
Yeah.
such and such pub, and I'm going to show you guys how this works." And they would shadow me, and I would meet somebody new that I hadn't met before that I thought, okay, it'd be good to sit down and meet this person. And I would ask those three questions exactly the way I described it.
Yeah.
And they'd see me walking off with an appointment next week, and they just go, "Whoa, it's magic." Not
In a pub
magic.
even. You can get them anywhere. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because, and then I point out to them, I said, "At any time during that conversation, did I mention anything about my business?" And
Absolutely. Yeah.
they go, "Oh, no, you didn't." And I said, "No, you didn't. And no, you don't.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
You go to that next meeting with the idea that you're going to provide a referral to that person. And
Yeah.
you're going to do exactly as you promised. You're going to learn more about their business. You're going to learn more about it in depth. And
Hmm.
you're going to have somebody on the sidelines just ready to give to them, somebody that can help them, a referral partner, a client, anything that's going to help them out.
Yeah.
And that will solidify that relationship forever
Yeah. Yeah.
because
It'll be yeah.
they'll see you as somebody who's there to help and to contribute.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And usually what happens is they say, "Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. We just been talking about me. What about you, Randy? What's your business?"
Yeah.
And that's when you get to tell your story,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Should be easy.
Easy as pie.
Easy. It should be easy as pie. And
Easy
that's just great
peasy.
that you have workshops like that.
Well, like anything else, you have to take that kind of process and naturalize it, right?
And it's practice makes perfect, right? Are you beeping? Are you like, is
Oh
the
man,
aliens calling?
sorry.
The aliens calling? Just kidding.
No, that's my Spalumbo sausage order.
No way. I love
Well, we got the
sausage.
big party coming up in the backyard here.
Oh, I love the backyard. That's right off of, what's that river again? That's Bow
The
River?
Bow River.
That's Bow River. I
Yeah.
love your backyard. I show you mine, but then I have to turn this around. I have
Well,
no.
if you got into town, if you drove into town on Saturday, it's a huge party.
Oh, I'm still here in Vernon for an extra couple of weeks and then I
Too
go.
bad, too bad. I have old high school chum in Vernon, Jackie Wild, and her name's not Wild anymore. It was when we were in high school. But she lives out, they've retired out there, her and her
Oh,
husband.
you know where
But
she
she's
lives?
coming in for the party.
Oh, well, I should hop a ride.
You should, yeah. Tell me you
Or
want
I
to
can just
hitchhike
take
with
my
me.
own truck. But so that's fine. I love that. Now I had a question and now it's gone. But if you're very passionate of teaching people this way. It's your business model to teach every person as a beautiful soul, as I read, because I've met you a couple times and your clients love you. They love you.
Well, some of them do.
Oh yeah, some of them. Well, aren't they all like that though? Some of them do.
Well, I'm human. I'm human. Every
Interesting.
once in a while I'll make some dumb mistake and then the client will get upset with me and then that my business is no different than anyone else's business, Adonica, believe me.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that we all, like our businesses have our human touch to them. And as a human, we do make mistakes and that's okay to admit and take accountability, right? Do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I think any business owner just has to you have to own up to your mistakes. You
Oh,
have to
yeah.
don't hide them.
Yeah.
right? Recognize them,
Recognize them.
admit to them, and fix them,
Yeah, and fix
right?
them. Yeah,
Whatever
absolutely.
it takes to fix it, that's what you do. And then clients appreciate that you've not tried to pull the
Mhm.
wool over their eyes or anything like that, right?
So now that we talked about a little bit of business, what is your side? Do you have like, do you do any kind of yoga, meditation? You work out? What do you do?
Well, I have a personal trainer.
Yay!
Yeah, so once my wife and I decided that as we got on, I mean, when I was renovating houses, I was always in pretty good shape, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I was doing physical labor, but once I got into, once got into like my life insurance brokerage, well, it's a lot of desk work, it's a lot
Yeah.
of paperwork,
Yes.
and I wasn't doing renovations anymore. In fact, the last big, huge renovation I did was in 2007.
Wow.
I built my own house, like the
Yeah.
house that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
That's been an ongoing project that we were building it mostly in 2008, 2009, 2010. But that's been how long it's been since I've been that physically active.
Right.
So 3 days a week we go to a trainer and try to listen to her, you know.
Get the body moving.
That's right. Lift this, push that. I
So,
hate bike sprints. That's the thing I hate the most, bike sprints. Ugh.
oh, yeah. Do you have knee problems from that?
Give me a weight to lift.
Have you
But
taken up pickleball yet?
no, I think it's a dangerous sport. I think no, no, no. From
Thank
what I
you.
hear, it's deadly. It's deadly for old folks. Like,
Well, and I'm going to tell you a story. There was a pickleball tournament here a couple weekends ago, and as I walked by with my girlfriend who plays pickleball in Edmonton, everybody has knee braces, elbow braces, their shoulders are taped, their elbows are taped. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And then my friend's ex-husband fell in pickleball and broke his hip and needed a hip replacement. Then I went, okay, it's dangerous.
yeah, it's
It's
because
crazy.
it seems like it's easy
It's
compared to
not.
tennis,
Yeah, I know. Oh my
but
God.
it's still a physical court sport, right?
It's stop and go a lot. And that's
Oh
hard on
yeah.
the joints. That's hard on the joints. And I know
Yep.
from having a knee replacement, one of the things you're not allowed to do, stop, go, twist, boogie,
Yeah,
because
so we do that. And then of course we work around the yard. I just
yeah,
did all my
yeah.
tree trimming last weekend, so I had sore shoulders.
It's yes, yes. And the trees behind you, are they trimmed? Did you?
Uh, well, the yeah, well, this one here, the honeysuckle got trimmed.
Oh,
So did
nice.
that lilac at the back. Not much you can do with the big poplars. They're just so huge and overgrown.
That's
But out
great.
front, we took down another honeysuckle by the garage. We took down a huge pine tree that was dying.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of lumber to cut up
Which is okay. Because
for
that's part of
firewood. Oh yeah, it's okay,
it's like a meditation for me just to get outside and do that kind of stuff around as well. So you get like that meditation from the earth, nature actually. Because you
Yeah.
guys in Calgary have been wrecked with weather, with those hailstorms.
Oh yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
didn't get any hail
Oh,
here.
thank gosh. Yeah.
Um,
But
but we get, but it was really dry, and of course we had the water issue, the water main break.
yes, I
So we
remember.
couldn't water the lawn for about a month, and it just
Oh,
about died because we
yeah,
could barely keep it alive
absolutely.
with the amount of water they were allowing us to put on it. So that was a little bit rough, but things brightened up. We've had some rain recently, and
Yeah.
water restrictions were taken off, although they're going to go back on apparently at the end of the month.
Oh, well,
They've
it
got
is what
one
it is.
more main to fix.
Yeah. It is what it is. At least you have water.
Yeah,
You have water now. So yeah. Well, this has been a wonderful chat with you. I love your story. I love everything that you do and how you help us people that are kind of introverts but extroverts too to get that networking going. And if you have any workshops coming up that you want to share with everybody, well, it'll be in the bio below. We'll get your information down there
sure.
too as
Well, I
well.
have I have the workshop. I've been thinking about putting the networking workshop online.
Mhm.
Because it is becoming a little burdensome going to the office and people show up or they don't show up. People sign up and they don't show up. But I do have a meetup that is online for investors. It's
Okay,
called the Calgary Investors Forum. I can send you that info later.
absolutely. Yes,
And
let's do it.
that's a good one for if anybody's interested in sort of any of the aspects of financial planning or investing or retirement planning. I bring in guest speakers every month and we
Yeah.
chat about that.
We'll put that in the bio too, so people can link into that too as well, and all your social media stuff, so they can find you, your email, so they can find you if they have any questions. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's
Thanks
been
so much for this.
fantastic. Oh yeah,
This
absolutely.
has
I
been a
can't
lot
wait
of
to share
fun.
it. Well, you're my Friday episode, my new Friday episode. By the way,
Yay.
this Friday. And it'll be on Spotify and it'll be on YouTube and everything. So look out.
Well, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
splashing it all over my social media.
Well, I can't wait. And let's have another conversation further down the road and see if you, by the way, one more thing. I noticed in your bio that you're going to cut a CD eventually.
Oh, I keep saying I will.
Oh,
Well,
come on.
well, I wanted to be a songwriter. I wanted to be another Bruce Springsteen or Gordon Lightfoot or Bruce
Oh, I
Coburn when
bet.
I was a kid. So I've written some songs, and I think at some point I'll have enough songs to do like a full album. So what I want to do is go to a recording studio just for my kids, right? My grandkids, just because, to show Grandpa could write songs. That's
You'll be next Rafi. Rafi?
no, they're not kids songs. Not
Oh,
no.
okay, sorry.
No.
Oh, you're not going to write about bananas and apples? I'm
Nope.
just kidding. Okay, never mind then. So I look forward to that. So have a wonderful day and we'll chat soon. And thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Adonica.
You're very welcome.